Hi, so this is just a quick test of a couple of Wilson irons, one that I used to use back in the day. I've looked it up and this Staff Tour RM was around the year 2000, so we're looking at 23 years old currently. And then the Wilson Staff Model CB, which is still in the range. I really like the Staff Model CB and I used to really like this club. I used it for quite a long time. But I just want to see if modern technology has moved on a little bit with irons. These irons are quite a good test for each other because the Staff Tour RM is 35 degrees loft and the CB is 34 degrees loft. They're much more traditional lofts. The set that I use at the moment, the Wilson D9 Forged Club, is 30.5 degrees, and I will hit that to see how it feels hitting these back to back. But the main test is on the Staff Tour RM and the CB. So in terms of looks, the Staff Tour RM and the Staff CB are a similar sort of head. If you look at the soles though, the Staff Tour RM is obviously much thinner sole, and this is quite a bit wider, the CB, so it's going to stop it digging so much, it's going to stop it being hit heavy. There's a little bit more offset weirdly on the Staff Tour RM. When I put it down now, I don't like it quite as much, and I don't remember that being a problem at the time, so I don't know whether my standards were different then and are different now. In terms of the head size, the blade on the Staff CB model is a little bit higher, bottom to top it's bigger, but overall size wise the CB looks a little bit smaller when you put it down. Like the head is not quite as long heel to toe as the CB. Is a little bit shorter. As I say, when I put them down, like the CB just looks immediately a lot nicer. The top line is actually a little bit thicker looking almost on the CB than it is on the old club, but the offset on the Tour RM doesn't look as nice to me, and I can't believe I ever liked that quite as much. This also features the fat shaft, the sort of thinner fat shaft that Wilson did, which was supposed to stop twisting of the club head by having a sort of stronger shaft that the head worked round, but debatable how much that actually helped. They're both forged heads. The Staff Model CB has a little bit more technology involved, especially in the longer irons, which I will hit later on, because actually I've got both sets, full sets of these. The Staff Model CB has a little bit of tungsten in them, just to help, especially in the longer clubs. So I'm going to use the Staff Tour RM first, the old club, 23 years old, and see how we get on with this. Decent strike, almost looks higher than I would expect, but then I'm used to a 30.5 degree loft. And there we go, 19 launch, 6,400 spin, a lot higher than I would expect normally. That went 158 and 159 in there and 170, and it felt really quite soft. I don't know if I can hit much better than that. I'll hit a couple more just to see, but I'm not so sure I can actually improve on that. Yeah, not quite as good a strike. Shoved out right a little bit. So what did an off-center strike do? Oh, I must have hit it a bit thin, maybe 20 degrees, 6,600 spin, 161 in the air, 171, so similar. So it did not bad on a slight mishit. Again, not a great strike. The first one that hit well felt really nice and soft. Still managed to get out 170, 159 in the air, so not bad. Let's see if we can do another one. Decent strike, a little draw coming back. Oh, that's gone a bit further. 164 in the air, 175. And the spin 6,000, pretty good. Felt decent again, I think. 164 yards, 175. Spin 6,000 again. So these spin rates are much higher than I ever see on my own irons. But I do hit it a bit further with them anyway. Decent again, maybe not absolutely flushed. Pushed out to the right a little bit. 158, 6,033, 169 total. So actually quite consistent. Let's hit the CB7 iron and see what happens. So immediately looks nicer, quite a lot nicer. And the main thing is that there's not as much offset. Felt decent. 166 carry, 176 spin, 6,216. There's only 1 degree different in loft. This is slight 1 degree stronger than the other club. That wasn't good. That was nasty. What did that come out at? 153, 163, so it still did okay. 6,500 spin, it was a bit thin. Felt a decent strike. Shoved out to the right a bit. 167, 178, 6,220 spin, so spin not far off the same, distance not far off the same. That was an old so-so sort of strike. Feel-wise, not a massive difference. I wouldn't say this is any massive improvement feel-wise. They're both quite soft. 163 in the air, 174, and again 6,000 spin. That felt nice. Hooky, so has gone a bit further because of that. 167, 179 total. Maybe hit one more and then we'll hit a couple of 4-irons just to see how they feel as well. Tried not to hook that one as much. I've gone a little bit right to left. 161, 171, 6,400 spin. This time I'm going to hit the 4-iron in the Tour RM. Right, so this is a 4-iron, looks horrible, looks thin, very thin top line. It's a reasonably big club head, but it doesn't look very nice. It's there's almost less offset of the 4-iron than there is on the 7-iron, which is really weird. Don't understand the thinking there. Anyway, let's have a go. I think I hit it well, don't know. Oh, a bit slicey, pushy slicey. What did it do? 179 in there, 196. Doesn't really inspire confidence. Not a club I like hitting really, a 4-iron, especially modern ones. This has got 24 degrees as opposed to 23 on the CB, so it's 1 degree weaker again. Okay, but out to the right a little bit. Gone 196, 185 in there, 204. Spins 3,700, launches 14, so not stopping particularly quickly, that one. And you're shoving these out to the right a bit to try and hit some fades to get this back. 187, 204, 4,200 spin, slightly better strike there. Let's see if I can not shove this one out to the right. Bit thin, but managed to control the swing path a little bit better. And it went 193, 211. So didn't feel particularly good, but then I don't really like hitting 4-irons. It's quite hard for me to flush 4-irons out the middle, but it felt all right. And I think the stats were kind of where I thought they might be. So the CB 4-iron. Let's look at it next to the 23-year-old RM. Yeah, it's a little bit shorter in the blade and just a little bit nicer look at it. It's actually got a slightly thicker top line, believe it or not. It's still quite thin. But that a thicker top line almost inspires a bit more confidence in this longer iron. Looks quite nice, a bit more inviting to hit. But that was a shocker. Abort, abort. Felt decent, I think. Oh, shovey. 193, 208. Sounds similar to the other one when I shoved it out right as well. Let's see if I can get one back on target a bit more. That felt like a good strike. A little bit straighter, leaking away a wee bit. 190 for 205, 4,900 spin. Felt quite nice that actually. Ah, it's thin. 190, 184 in the air, 201. Not bad for a thinny, horrible strike. Felt decent, I think. A little bit out to the right, not bad. And 189, 206. Right, one more. And then I just want to finish off hitting a couple of the ones that I use at the moment. That felt nice. Probably shoved it right a little bit. Coming back a touch. And that was 198, 215. That overall felt a bit nicer than hitting the old one. Just feel wise, it just felt softer, just a bit more responsive when I get it out the middle, and just looked a bit nicer as well. So I'm not going to hit many of these, but just want to see a couple to remind myself what my own club does and what it feels like. This is a 7-iron for the D9 forged. 30.5 degrees, so about 3.5, 4 degrees stronger than the other 7-irons that I hit. So it's a bit chunkier looking, I have to say. There isn't that much offset on it, less than on the old RM. But yeah, the top line's decent. It's not, I'd like it a little bit thinner, but it's nice enough. Felt decent. Oh, it's out to the right again. It's annoying out to the right feels good. 179, 192, all of a sudden 5,300 spin. That's what you get because it's so much stronger lofted. You get it going further, you get less spin. But, you know, it's a club less, pretty much, at least, that I have to hit with that. So psychologically, I like that. So I'd be hitting an 8 iron to get it the same distance as that 7. So on to the 4 iron now. Now the only thing with this is I can slightly see the back of that club, and I don't really like that, if I'm being honest. So I kind of want my cake and eat it. I want all the forgiveness that this big back gives me, but I don't want to see it. So, and I want a thin top line, so I'm not sure that's available to me currently, but we'll keep looking. So as I said, I don't have to hit 4 iron very often, so I'm not too bothered. I can just about cope with the fact that I can see the back of it. If I was hitting it a lot, it would do my head in, but when it comes to it and I know I need the help, then I know it's there and I can forgive the fact that I can see a little bit of the back. Other than that, it's quite nice. So this is 4 iron on my current set. Don't know if I got it. It felt an alright strike, but I think I've shoved it right. 200, 217, so nothing special there. Hit one more. I think we can get this out a bit further than that. So this is 21.5, so it's weird that it's not quite as far ahead in the loft as the 7 iron is, but it's still a little bit stronger. Low and right, not very good. Still going 200 for 220. That's what I kind of feel like this is about a 220 club. But a 220 off to the right club at the moment. That's just me now. 189, 206, not very good there. Felt like a decent strike, but it's a low, slightly hooking bullet. 201, 223. Right, yeah, felt decent. Felt probably as soft as a CB. Not a lot of difference, but obviously I think the CB 4 iron felt a bit easier to hit than my 4 iron, but then the loft is up on it, so it's going to look and feel a wee bit easier to hit. The first one is the Tour RM, and I hit that. So the 2 7 irons at the start, there's not a lot between it. If you look carry 161, 163, not a lot in it. Spin rate, very similar. I mean, they're very similar lofted, and I didn't feel one was particularly more forgiving than the other. So in 23, there's not been a huge difference in a 7 iron if you keep the lofts the same. The 4 irons, the 4 iron in the Tour RM didn't go quite as far as the new 4 iron. It is a slightly stronger loft in the CB, so similar, expected kind of. Maybe I would say the spin rate on the CB at 4,400 as opposed to 4,100 when you consider the CB as a stronger lofted club. That's maybe some of the technology, some of the tungsten helping that ball to get up in the air a little bit. So maybe technology doing its job there and a little bit further, but not much. And then the 2 clubs at the end, just my own club. Yeah, I mean, exactly what I thought there. There's 20 yards between in total distance, roughly, between those 2 clubs, the 2 7 irons. So a little bit of technology and the loft has helped quite a lot there. But it just means I can hit less club, which I quite like doing. And a shorter length club is important. Yeah, so just saying about my club, that it's about 20 yards further in the 7 iron, and in the 4 iron not quite so much, but there wasn't quite as much of a loft difference, and it's difficult to gauge as much because if you strike one slightly different, you're going to lose quite a lot of distance. But they were going a little bit further than the older 4 iron, the 4 irons in the CB and in the Tour RM. So I mean, the main conclusions you can take from that is that, especially in like the 7 iron, it doesn't really matter that much. If the lofts are similar and the build of the club is similar in terms of a little bit of perimeter weighting, just to help you a little bit on off-center hit, then the clubs are pretty much going to do the same thing. And then it's just important what shaft you've got in it and whether it fits you and suits your game. The sole is not going to make much of a difference in here, whether it's thinner or fatter, because we're hitting off AstroTurf. Out on the real world, the slightly wider sole in the CB might be a little bit more forgiving, but if you're a fairly good striker of the ball, and you're going to be fine with that slightly thinner sole anyway on a slightly older club. I mean, I think CB looks a bit better, looks slightly more modern, and I did like the less offset that it had. I really liked that. And then in the 4 iron, the CB just felt a little bit better, felt nicer, easier to hit. It looked a bit more inviting to hit than the slightly older club. And again, that's got very thin sole on it, and a little bit wider on the CB, so a little bit less chance of hitting it fat to the CB. So conclusion is, if you've got a 23-year-old set of clubs, you could maybe look at replacing the slightly longer clubs, but you could keep some of the ones up to about 6 iron probably, and you'd be fine. After that, you probably need a little bit more help. But always interesting to do these tests where you take an old club against a new one, because I hate to say it, but a lot of the time there isn't a huge difference. A little bit of difference in the longer irons there today. So if you've got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.